how do I get this off? It's these guys. Just roll that over. It's kind of an amalgamation of parts I've collected over a while. This right here is a Pentium 4 processor, I think clocked at, it's either 3 or 3.2 gigahertz. Single core, hyper-threaded. I think I've got a gig of DDR RAM in there, and IDE drive here. I don't think this motherboard supports SATA. This motherboard wasn't the one that originally came in it. That originally came from a Toshiba machine, and yeah, it doesn't support SATA. I couldn't use I wanted to use the Dell motherboard, but that only had 2 slots for RAM. Lighting's not very good, but you can see there's 4 sticks in there. The Dell only had 2 slots for RAM, and it did not have an AGP slot like this right here. This is a card I just bought secondhand off of a local computer store, and it's, you know, got a fucking leaf blower on it, which is why I went for it. I haven't really gotten this to work. I mean, I've got it booted up and with XP on it, but the problem is, like, XP is just not usable anymore. There's no browsers that support it or anything anymore. But this case in particular, I think this was, read the badge on the front here. Okay, this was a Dimension 3000. There were a number of Dimensions that had this case. The Dimension 2400, I think there was a 2450, a 2700 maybe, and 3000. There's a whole bunch that had this pattern of case. This case is a great, like, budget case sort of thing, for a number of reasons. First of all, because it actually has, unlike most Dell cases, it actually has screw holes in the back here for screwing in a fan, whereas most, just like you can see the holes here for where the plastic shroud used to go, most of them just have a big plastic clip-in mechanism. They clip the fan in, and there's a shroud that goes over the CPU here that sucks in all the air through the front, over the CPU, and out the back. So that means you can't ever get good circulation in most Dell cases, but you can put a 90mm fan here. I would suggest getting a pretty powerful one, because that's going to be most of your circulation. However, you can also, and this is something I figured out, as you can see, I've mounted a 80mm fan in the grill in the front here, and I've actually got 2 self-threading screws, one in each corner here. And if you mount this as low as possible, as a matter of fact, like this hole right here is the second one down, all the way on the left. Use that as a reference point, and then just match the bottom one down here. And you can get that in pretty tight, even with 2 screws. Like, that's barely going to move at all, and this isn't powerful enough to, like, cause any major vibrations. And that solves the biggest problem with this case, which was the hard drive would tend to heat up. It goes in this little stand here. It stands up and down, which is actually a really clever design. It lets you, because one of the problems you have with these micro ATX cases, and I've got one over there sitting under the table that had this problem, is fitting a big video card in this is difficult. And then having room for the, fitting a big video card and having room for hard drives is difficult in these micro ATX cases. But in mounting it like this, they save a ton of space. There's plenty of space between your video card and the hard drive. I've seen versions of this where they have 2 different things. They all screw into this, this big, this thing that sticks out of the back. I don't know what to call that, bracket, I guess. That guy sticks out the back there a bit, and again, you can't really see it, the lighting, but there we go. Yeah, you can see there's another screw hole, so you could actually put another one on there. And I've actually found, I think you can actually, a 2.5-inch hard drive will actually slide down into that bracket, so you could put an SSD back there if you wanted. So it's like, this is just a really cool fucking case, and really weird considering most of Dell's cases were, you know, abominable pieces of garbage, like, you know, this thing, the clam retard over here. I've got a bunch of them. Like, these guys have their own quirks. That one I didn't put back together very well. I need to do sometime. But yeah, this is already 5 minutes too long, so let's end this video here.